Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mystery Gamer tutorial where today we're going to be talking about System 1 and System 2 in RPG Maker MZ. Now these are probably my favorite things in the database because it allows you to change the defaults of your game. But before we start, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more gaming content. Let's try to get to 250 subscribers by the end of 2022. I'd really appreciate it. But other than that, let's get started. Okay, so to get to the System 1 and 2, you have to go over to the gear, like we have been doing the last few tutorials. Then down towards the bottom, you will see System 1. We'll talk about System 1 first. So you can change your game title up here, and if I change it to, like, say, like, then it will then change it to like in the game. Let's see that. See? There we go. So, there's a like that I put in, and you can change it to whatever you want. I'm gonna leave it at subscribe for now. Then down here you can change how many people are in your starting party, so that means at the start of the game how many people you have in your party, and you can change that by adding more people in your actors. Then here you can change your currency type, so this is G for gold, but you can then also change it like that to gold, and then if we hit apply and go into the game, we can then see that if we then go to our menu, there we go, it now says gold instead of G. Here you can change your window color. My favorite color is red, so if we change it to red, there we go, now it's red. So pick your favorite color for your menu in the game, and it also applies to text boxes too. And then here we have the vehicle images. So we are limited to these images, but you can find other sprites online that you can use. I actually don't mind these sprites, although I'm irritated that they have a unicorn instead of a horse, which, I mean, for some games you may want a unicorn carriage. But what I did is imported sprites from RPG Maker MV because those work as well. So if you like some of those vehicle sprites better, then you can just easily import them into the vehicle file. Then here you have the starting positions. You can also change it by right clicking and then going to set starting position and player. So then it moves your player up here. But in the System 1 in starting positions, you can then change it here too. So you can move him over here if you wanted, and now he is going to be starting over there once I hit apply. So see, once I go into the game, he now starts over here. Now we will talk about vehicles more in another video because vehicles are a little bit tricky. So now over here in title screens, you can change what kind of image you want as your background. So say we change it to gold. So then if we go to our game, it will now turn to a gold image instead of the jungle. Now sometimes if you make a custom title like in Paint or Adobe or whatever you want to use, sometimes you don't want this to pop up. So then you can unclick this, and then you won't see the title on your game anymore. It'll just be blank. Then in command window, you can change the window to be windowed, dim, or transparent. Then you can change your offset to X and offset Y to a different number. So if you want like 100, and let's just say 100, it then will appear all the way down here. See, instead of straight in the center. A good example of this is my game that I'm making. Feel free to check out my other series, Let's Make a Game, on my channel. So you see, I made a custom background. I made it so that my window's down here, and it should be transparent. Transparent, and I got rid of the title. I should have just unclicked this one. Okay, so now we have the battle screen. So depending on what kind of game you're making, you may want front view or side view. Front view will make all the characters look different. So then if we go to enemies and choose a random enemy, and then go to troops, and then go to gnome and battle tests, our character won't appear, just the enemies and they'll be staring right at us. And all of the effects should work the same, but it just matters where the enemies are. And then your side view looks similar, but it is on the side. See, this is side view, so we have all of our characters right here and they're looking at our enemies and they move up to attack, that kind of thing. So that's side view. Then we have a battle system which is new to RPG Maker MZ. So you have your regular turn-based, which is what we just saw. So then for time progress active, it means that your battlers act based on their agility. Time passes during command input. Then it's similar for time progress wait, but time does not pass during command input. So let me show you what that looks like. I'll keep it on time progress active. So then see these timers going up, and then we just kind of attack them, and the gnomes have time as well, and you can change the time as well for everything. There we go. So let me change it over to wait and go back in. So the active means that when you're in this mode, these things aren't going up, but when you're in wait, that means that when this little window pops up, means all the characters just stop. See that? And then in between, there's just that little second. Okay, now for options. You can change it to start in transparent. It means your character will start transparent, which sometimes you want, sometimes you don't. Then you have show player followers, which means if that is on, you can see your characters behind you. But if you don't, you can then just not see them at all. But you will still be able to see them in your menu. So see, no one's following me, but you can still see the characters in the menu. Then there's things like death by slip damage, which means there's things like damage from poison or damage from lava. And if you leave it unchecked, that means that your thing will stop at 1. But if you check it, means that the lava or poison will kill you. Then there's death by floor damage, which means that your health will drop to 0 by damage caused by a map train. If unchecked, it will stop at 1, just like the slip damage. Then you can change the display TP in window, and TP is like the status of your character. TP, you may want it, you may not want it. Then you can also have EXP for reserve members. So if there are members in your party that weren't able to participate in the battle, then they will still get XP. It's kind of like Pokemon, where when you put one Pokemon out into battle, you will then have your other Pokemon that weren't able to go into the battle, and they will still get some XP. Then you have show the number of key items, which is exactly what it means. So if we show it, then we can go into here, new game, and our key items are in the item menu, and go to key items. I don't have any key items, so of course they won't show up. Then this other feature, autosave, is new to RPG Maker MZ as well. So basically what it means is whenever you go into a new map or after a battle, then your game will autosave and then you can go into that file. But sometimes you don't want your game to have an autosave feature. You want the player to get sad that he can't save whenever he wants and dies a bunch of times, and it starts him back to the beginning of the castle and he has to go through the castle all over again. Oh, why did you have to do that, old games? Then you have music. So you have title, battle, victory, defeat, game over, boat, ship, and airship music. You just click into one of them and you can just change them to whatever you want. Make sure to stop it because they play even when you exit out the menu, which is kind of fun because then if you want to, listen to some music while you're making your game, that's not that bad. And then same thing down here, you have the sound, which I will not go through all of them, but again, you just click into one of them and you can play them. Okay, so now let's go over to System 2. So here you have the menu commands, which is item, equipped, formation, save, status, and skill, which is the stuff that you see in your menu. But sometimes if your game doesn't require for like formation because it is a one-player game, or you don't want the people to save, then you don't have a save slot. Then over here you have item categories, which is item, armor, key item, and weapon. And if your game, you know, is just a puzzle game, you don't need a weapon, then you can just uncheck that and it won't come up in your items. Then over here you have magic skills. So sometimes more advanced games will have different types of magic, like arcane or, you know, potion brewing. There's like different kinds of magic out there. You know what I mean if you've ever watched a Harry Potter movie. Then down here is your SV attack motions, which SV stands for side view. Like I showed earlier, when your characters are looking at the enemy, they will play a attack motion, and you can then just click into these and choose what kind of motion you want and then the image that goes to. So we'll just stay there for now. So really quick, let me show you this so I can just point it out. So they have a little glove right there, and they have a sword, they have a little staff thing, and they have another little staff because they're both magical. So that's basically that, and if you want to download any more sprites for that, you can. And then here is the advanced settings. Now these used to be like plugins, but now you can just have them in the game, which is nice. So here you have the game ID, which kind of determines the save files that the game will save in. Then here you have the screen width and height, which you can change to make your screen bigger. And sometimes if you want your game to be played on the TV, you will want it a little bit bigger than this. But usually if you want a game for the computer, usually this is a little bit better. I try to keep it around 1920 by 1080 as a good resolution. Then you have UI, area, and height, which is your menu. Then you have your main font and number font file name, which I don't mess with at all, but if you want different kinds of fonts, you can download off of different websites. But I like the fonts used in RPG Maker MZ. Same thing with the fallback fonts. And then you have font size, which is how big the font is. Just know when you change your font size, you also make the UI. Just make sure when you change the font size, your menus are bigger too, so that the font can fit within the menu. And then here you have the window opacity, which changes how transparent or filled the window is. Well, that is going to be it for today's video. In the next video, we will be looking at types and terms. But anyways, make sure to like, subscribe, and have a great day. See you next video.